It's alright. Oh. So the energy that I took into this week really was, we have 2 weeks left of the build. It's time to absolutely send it with everything we do. Sunday was a rest day, so of course I just did a little bit of work and I've been practicing walking in my heels. And then come Monday, it was time to do day 1 of my sessions for the week. And with this step up is absolutely killing me now. I don't think I have many more weeks left of this program. In fact, I might even have a new one this coming week. Going into this week, I really just kept saying to myself, these are the last few sessions you're going to be doing where you can potentially be building muscle. And then it dawned on me when I looked at my check-in sheet, oh, I think this is my final week of the build. And so going into the rest of this week, I again just kept that same energy of, we only have a few more sessions left. Let's make every single one count. And so with this, on Mondays, it's one of my favorite leg sessions. I just love the challenge of the Smith machine single leg work that I've been given, and I feel like I've progressed so much. But then as well as that, when I watch the videos back, there are always little bits and pockets of the exercises where I wish that I had tightened up a little bit too. Next we had deadlifts, and I took the weight down for my deadlift, so I went from 90 back to 80. I just seemed to be unable to hold the bar in a really good spot and keep my weight distributed over my midfoot as much without my upper back coming into play. And that's okay, my upper back has gotten a lot stronger, but it's still not as strong as my glutes and hamstrings, and the barbell Romanian really makes sure that that is kept up to speed. It's important coming into show day that I do have still a muscular upper body. It doesn't need to be super jacked, but I do still need to have the right musculature for bikini. And so with this, keeping these barbell deadlifts in there, I feel has definitely secured that posture and those muscles all along my back. And then of course my posterior chain, my glutes as well. Then of course carpool karaoke on the Kaz glute bridge. These are finally up around 120 again. Some days they feel better than others, but I'm really trying to make sure that when I am doing these, that I'm feeling my left and my right glute the same, because I do have a tendency, my right side does seem to just feel so much stronger. And they are both very even when it comes to doing any single leg exercises, but when it comes to my bilateral work, I can feel that my left glute laces behind. So I really took the weight down with these to focus on technique and making sure I'm loading both sides evenly. And now, coming to the end of this program, they are looking nice and snazzy. Tuesday, so I've just been doing check-ins. I have been up since 3. I was waking up at like 5 in Bali, so I think I'm just adjusting to the time. Are you all right? We're just making the most of it. If I wake up and I find I can't get back to sleep, we'll ask, you know, are you moving to Bali? Why don't you move to Bali? And I always, doesn't matter how often I come up to these cliffs, I'm always so taken aback, like, look at just how incredible this is. this usual sitch for check-ins, and I just thought, genius idea, I worked this out yesterday, is to practice walking in my heels, because arguably that's the more challenging pieces of like learning your routine, that sort of thing. Just wearing my walking pad. What a genius. Been up since 3. That's alright. I used to do that a lot back when I used to PT many hours in a day. We've got all check-in notes written. It's like not even 10 a.m. So I'm just going to hang out for about an hour. After my swim, it was check-in time, which I always love. Tuesday is definitely one of my favourite days because I get to connect with everyone on the team. And then here I'm trying to prep for my diet and reduce my sort of size of my meals, because whenever I make meals, they're always like fucking 600 or 800 grams. And so what I've done, I've made coconut rice this time. So we've got coconut milk in here, and I'll show you the brand I use. I just use this here just because otherwise it'd be a metric ton of fats if I used actual coconut milk, but this is still coconut milk. So if you read the ingredients: coconut milk, brown rice, sea salt, filtered water. So it's pretty good in terms of making some cocoa rice. And then I'll put some powdered stevia, or I do when I'm cooking it, put powdered stevia in it too, so it's nice and sweet. This is 4 serves of each of these in these containers, so I can just divvy that up by going like that, and then Bob's your uncle. Like I tell all of my clients, we like to have a good wind down time before going to sleep. Otherwise it makes it harder to fall asleep and get a restful night's sleep. So I like to try and pop everything away at about 7:45. And then of course I have my little beauty regime too. Giving bed hair vibes. All good. Today is more of a quad focused day, and I'm not gatekeeping this secret anymore because the coach who taught me this hack on putting my knee sleeves on stole my umbrella. So I'm showing all of you guys today. It's honestly been such a game changer, especially because I got these knee sleeves when I was about 6, 7 or 8 kilograms lighter. So I do definitely struggle, especially when I'm in shorts, when I'm moisturized, they get stuck all the time. So enjoy this little hack where you sort of just roll the top, roll the bottom, and then you can just sort of hoist them up over your socks. So I like to pull my sock up too. But yeah, and then with one good hoist, like so, very aggressive, did not break any nails. You can get it nice and high over your knee so you can set it up in position. For the lower body component of my full body day, because I have 3 full body days, I did this all at the gym, and then for my upper body I had some sultanas in the car and I went to finish my upper body at home. With these pendulums, they actually felt really, really nice. I did get up to 70 kilos, which matched my weight from before I went to Bali. I did really want to get heavier on these, but I do think the chops and changes from machines. I also did hack squats for a few weeks. It can be hard to gauge what is the appropriate working weight without absolutely sending it and missing my reps. I did the best that I could, and then I'm super excited anyways to continue pushing after a bit of a deload week coming too. tummy hurts. I really wish I had some bone broth. Thursday, what? You know, you can't be bothered putting something in a sandwich bag. It's like one less thing to do. I'm like, I would rather just optimize my time today. Upper body today, which will be nice. It is upper body I did last week on Saturday. I want to do my last leg session this Saturday because I'm going to a different gym with a girlfriend. And then after upper body, we got some new activewear, which is nice too. After upper body, we will do a little bit of work on the podcast, and then I have my singing lesson. And then, yeah, food-wise today, we've got some butter chicken. And then just with the way my day is structured, I don't want to be having a big meal so close to bed. So I'm having pasta and rice at lunch, which is going to be absolutely ace with my butter chicken. Upper body sessions are definitely not my fave, but that doesn't mean that we skip them at all. And they felt so good. Again, coming into this week, it's becoming a little bit more routine to show up and do my upper body sessions. They all feel really nice. The exercises are feeling pretty good. Some days are better than others, and I am finding that just with the amount of weight that I'm pushing now with my lower body days or my full body days, that my upper back is still getting quite fatigued. It doesn't matter, we move, and having a look at my progress photos as well, I can see from the tiny increases that I've been able to implement over the past sort of 8 weeks on this program that I have got some upper body gains, which is awesome. From 60, we went to 55 kgs this week, and we got out a nice 2 sets of 6 reps. These are a little bit cleaner, but again, I think just the way that I've positioned my training days this week, my upper back has been so sore and fatigued. So we moved, we took back the weight, we got more reps out, and I still think, looking at the technique, that these look pretty good for how hard they were feeling as well. Of course, how I've been ending most of my days is with a cream of rice or a rice pudding variation of food. It's serving as a dessert, but it's also helping me get my carbs in. Coming into Friday, I wanted to make something a little bit different. We'd run out of toast, and so what I did is I made a little bit of a buckwheat waffle. I looked online while I was on my morning walk for a little bit of a recipe, and then I got in the kitchen and I just winged it. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst, and there were a few sort of chops and changes while I was making the recipe, but it still all tasted good and it still helped me to hit my carbs, and was obviously gluten-free and dairy-free as well. Most of the time I'm cooking my food in ghee or coconut oil or butter, and this just absolutely slapped with a bit of maple syrup on top as well. So my breakfast today was a little buckwheat waffle and then 3 eggs in an omelette with some pasture-raised bacon and some organic maple syrup.
Beautiful day.
Friday, and it's a little bit of a rest day. And I gotta say, I am not really leaving the house to practice leaving the house when I'm gonna be in diet. I think that's something like, it's very easy when you're around the kitchen, bored, you want something to stimulate you. I will go through so many cups of tea a day. I got nervous because I had a door shut in my house, in my apartment. I really am enjoying making specific times to eat and leaving the house when I'm not eating. It's such a good habit because it just means that when you're actually hungry and you're actually in prep, it's amazing when you're distracted, how long you can go without eating. And there's something that whenever clients are in sort of fat loss phases and they're like, oh, you know, especially with the work from home era, it's so easy to just be like, oh, it's so hard to adhere to XYZ because I'm not in the house, rah, rah, rah. And when you are at home, it's the food's always there. If you are in a kitchen where there's snacks in front of you, of course, the most successful people, they just remove a lot of the extra temptation. And so one thing I've been doing is strengthening my resilience while I'm at this time period where I'm really not hungry and it's not detrimental, but leaving the house in between meals because I'm a serial snacker otherwise. And when I get anxious, like the first thing I do is go to the kitchen. And now I can pick up on it where I'm like, whoa, we don't need to stress eat, like it doesn't solve anything. Project that I'm working on, my little ritual, is after dinner not having dessert every time, especially when my dinner is like a cream of rice bowl, which is dessert. I always feel the need to have like a chocolate, berries, my Ninja Creamy, and I want to, in prep, when I bring back the desserts, or like when I'm dieting, when I'm about to start my mini cup, when I bring back the desserts, I want to be like, gosh, this is a great tool, instead of it being so part of my normal routine. I want to be able to finish dinner and be like, oh, I actually have another 150 or 200 calories left over for my Ninja Creamy, for a hot chocolate, but it's getting warmer, so Ninja Creamy. But I'm really trying to lay the foundations now before the inevitable stresses come up, because you want to just prepare for as much as you can, but you can't control everything. And so it's like, okay, well, you know what, I can control my reaction to things. And so that's what I've been practicing lately, is my scheduling, sticking to my scheduling, and then also being able to leave the house and be distracted, where it's like, if I was at home, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm sitting on the computer. After about 45 minutes or an hour, I feel like a snack. I feel like a cup of tea, a coffee, a drink. I can go through, when I'm at home, 3, 4, 5 liters of liquid by the time it hits like 1 p.m. Just because I love, I'm this amazing because I stay hydrated. I love tea, I love coffee, and so it's a bit of a stimming thing where I need the stimulation when I'm trying to work on the computer. It's like I need to have something. One thing I realized was it was the texture of foods. I don't like soft things when I'm on the computer. It needs to be crunchy. And then was when I started to connect dots. I'm like, this isn't about hunger. This is about stimulation and stimming. And that has just been such a game changer for me as well. I'm just at the gym. I'm in all black because I'm going to film some exercises for the training app. And then a little bit of admin this afternoon. We'll get a bit of beach time if it's still sunny and it's not ridiculously windy, because wind is my nemesis. But yeah, and then just a chill weekend. It's feeling so good. Just training, prepping food, not having much on, just being able to make sure that everything work-wise is going swell as well. Let's talk about the biggest exposure therapy. If I wasn't comfortable with my body image, I'd want to have been by this afternoon. I just went for a little sunset swim, and just like, I would never really cry in my stories, that sort of a thing. I've just been having a bit of an emotion day, and I just try and remind myself that like what's meant to happen is happening right now. There's a reason why some things aren't happening right now that you might not know of. And it's okay. Things that aren't in your control, it's like whatever's meant to happen will happen. Okay, so trust that you'll be absolutely fine. And so I thought I'd just go for a little dip. I need to just get in the ocean and just reset my head. And I parked up my towel just a little too close to the shore. And I went in, I was in the water under, like diving, swimming, doing all the dolphin stuff, all the mermaid stuff. I was like, this is so great. And I turn around and I see some people touching my stuff. And then I see them pick my towel up and it's soaking wet. So obviously a wave's just like smashed it. But my towel weighs like a metric ton. It's just one of the country road ones. And it was just one of those things where it's like you really can't control everything, and being upset about things that are out of your control is just a waste of time. It's a waste of emotion. It's a waste of energy. And so I just sat there on a step. I went back up off the sand, obviously, because I wasn't going to sit on my wet towel. My phone's wet, my keys are wet, so this audio might even not come out okay. But it was just that moment of like, this is such a beautiful evening and it's not being ruined by my towel being wet. And it's like I came down here to reset because I really was feeling a bit like emotional. And I came down here to reset. And then when that happened, I was like, that's such a finite thing. And that's such a, it was just a little bit of a giggle that I got to have. But then I obviously had to walk back to my car, and I held the very heavy towel up until I got to the stairs coming up to the street. The only bit where I was like, ugh, was when I had to put the towel around my waist, around my butt, so I could walk towards my car, which luckily, again, I'm parked close to the beach anyways. But and all the wet and the sand was scraping up against my body. But anyways, so my towel weighs like a ton. There's lots of sand in the car, but little ocean swim makes everything better. Just like babies, sometimes we just need a damn bath. Signing off for our little calendar week, and then tomorrow's check-in day. Exciting. And that'll be about it. Of course, usual nighttime shenanigans. We had a little bit of a coconut rice pudding. This was so good, and it makes it so easy for me to hit my carbs with this as well. Coming into Saturday, I've done the whole beauty regime, looking like a founding father going to bed, but waking up just looking like a babe. Tint my eyebrows, and then I'll put my fringe up in a little bit of a thing. And then, once we're ready to get on with the day, we're already looking like we've just woken up like this, like Beyonce. But really, I just do this because I cannot be bothered styling my hair or doing much in the morning. It really dawned on me today that it was the second last day of my build. I clocked up at 78.8 kgs today, and so I wanted to make sure I got some good poses in so that I can compare these, because it's probably the last time that I'll be this heavy for a while. Then we went and hit the gym and had a nice day at the beach. I've been practicing. Today was the first time. Parking at a spot where I've got like unlimited time, and it's about a 10-15 minute walk down the hill to the gym. So gets my steps up for prep as well. Wins.